Going live. Welcome to tonight. It's kind of a last man drop in here. Well, you got something going on around here. Okay, before we get started, though, you guys want to promote my friend Kerry Neighbor's book, wrote, writing some more. No, I didn't read it that many times. My new friend over there, when she first came, we were learning how to not get things off the coffee table, and they didn't really think about it or chewing up. That's all the chewing she did on it. But she made a transition from being okay. We've been working on. One of my friends said that if my dog get for her, and for me, it's just a little bit like a review of what we went through. Small portion of what. But on Amazon, it's an Amazon bestseller, and she actually thanked me for promoting it. Ellen. So y'all keep that up. Okay, well, we got another book. This one my son wrote. Leverage income. How to invest. Up in the house. Welcome to the show tonight, young man. My birthday was yesterday, so everybody's young to me, even if you're younger. I'm not gonna. Anyway, welcome to the show tonight. And you can watch that. So we got another workshop coming up. This will chop up. And it's these grown people. I can tell you that for sure. Okay, here. Okay, so welcome to the Pro Se Lawsuit Center. We provide affordable, battle-tested tools that you need to take. Ordinary people can use to take stop process. That's we ain't trying to win nothing because they all opting by forced individuals like this workshop that I'm putting together. I'm not really competing with them, but that's. A lot of people are going there. I don't really know. I mean, I know it ain't good. If it was good, then it would be something like what we're doing, what we're suing them for the why. I started doing some work on on this bankruptcy. They told you that bankruptcy would save your home. For many people, that promise never showed up. And I talked to a lot of them. I talked to people who actually did all that stuff, and then after they ran out of money, because they can put the house back into foreclosure. I can believe that they don't even let it get in. They just move. Okay, stop, and they expect people to stop coming to the house, measuring the yard and looking at the stuff. They expect the court to drop the date. All of that stuff stop. It doesn't. Does it? Comment then the section. No, it don't. Just keeps moving. Hearings stay on the calendar. Eviction notices still coming up. They don't take that nowadays. Nobody explains. Nobody can tell you why. This is where most people get trapped. The bankruptcy is sold as automatic protection. In real life, it depends on enforcement. Ain't nobody to enforce. Same people that committed when what it means is, the fact that it was your private property. That's never to be mean. Why? Well, it's or something like that. It's just all supposed to be, but that's not what they're doing. Every year they're raising the taxes, doing all this stuff. Are you court here property dispute? Everything about that. So these are the kind of things that Coach wants you know, because I don't like having to work that hard, right? So we do a homework over automatic stay. Or just don't respect which one allows, and I looked them down allows the bankruptcy and the bank and all of that was in. I looked it up. I'm a freak. I looked it up. The courts continue act as if nothing changed. Those are left thinking that they did something wrong when they did not. Here's the truth that most people never hear. It doesn't magically override anything. It does. Everybody both know on the new police station, and they got the police station anyway. Big old nice police palace. How'd they do that? Well, did you notice the property tax keep going up every year? Totally insane. Yeah, so federal bankruptcy court and state court are supposed to operate in different lanes. And when those lanes are blurred, homeowners lose. They lose leverage. They lose fast. By the time the homeowner realizes that something's wrong, the deadline's gone by and options are limited. Now, what court they have it in? One court? Which one is their right one? The state court's going to move forward because people don't know. And what I know is just from reading what I read in the last 2 days, the main goal of bankruptcy court in my head is to get all the votes in one place so they can argue over who's taking what you got in one hearing. How's that help? How's that help us? Streamline that process so all the alleged credit can get lined up their corporations over there to get paid. And who's going on and tell them who's getting what? Your ownership Shit, leave that alone. Who's going to tell him? Yeah, the judge. Okay, so wait a minute. Is that going to be fair? Anybody want to talk about who's paying the judge? When any part of the due process protections are ignored, people lose. The protection people expect never shows up. It's never there. Most people don't realize that you're in a court of administrative court. They don't follow. By the time you figure that out, you're trying to wonder where are your rights? Oh, somebody lied to you on that one, okay? Because you don't have no rights. You have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be used against you. And that's what they tell you right before they get the cuffs on your ass. So that's exactly what they tell you. So I don't know. I'm not as smart as a lot of people, but I'm smarter than some people because if I don't have no rights in that court, then we're just going to they just tell you right at the gate, bam, we're going to get some punches in to get our ass up past the 50-yard line. And then every play, we're going to force them to visualize their shared liability. That's how you do that. The judge keeps the case moving. The attorneys keep filing motions, and the trustees look the other way. The trustees part of the problem. They still look the other way. The homeowner's left standing in the middle, assuming the system is going to fix itself. It's going to work out. I'll get to, and it doesn't. The system is structured to do exactly what it's doing. Starting at the gate, when you sign that document at the gate and left the table, that document was altered. They stamped, paid to the order of honor, and the bank vice president processed, signed, and without recourse with somebody, blah, 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 blah. They turned it into a security, and they processed it through the Federal Reserve for electronic credits. That was the alleged loan they're saying they made. All of that stuff they did after you left the table was totally illegal. And then they made a copy of the security to send to you to make you think that you're in control of your property when you're not. And you don't even realize that your deed being registered in their office allowed them to do. Most people don't realize that your property deed in your state, the state property transfer statute, they're supposed to follow, because statutes and codes are invalid laws for us, but they're supposed to follow them to make it fair for us. And they don't. And most people don't realize that the property transfer statute for your state mandates that you're supposed to be delivered to your house, but it's not. They do what they call their constructive delivery. They're registered and then your property is reclassified. The reclassification is solely for the purpose of taxation. Okay. So, God has blessed me, and I got a big mouth, and my dad was a Marine, and we like to get some shit done. So we're here getting it done. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys need to get over to the website and make a little donation if you want to, like winningcourtnow.com right there. I don't do too many buttons and stuff around here because these people take 33 and 30%. That's the same thing attorneys do. Ouch, but thank you. And we bring fire 24/7 anyway, because that's how we roll around here. And we ain't pissing them off. We ain't getting nothing done. Okay, so Congress made the laws, and it's supposed to be an immediate injunction that turns the bankruptcy case off. And so they stop doing stuff when, but there's a reason why they don't turn it off. And when they turn it off, that means that by force of the law, the creditors and their agents must stop things like filing for continuing lawsuits to collect pre-filing debts, enforcing judgments and garnishments and levies, respond repossession and most foreclosure steps, they're supposed to stop all of that once the file. But there's a reason why they don't stop it. And the policy reason is simple. So bankruptcy is designed to create one control person and put everybody in the same place. All of the attorneys representing these corporations that said that these people ripped them off. Okay, but wait a minute. These corporations have all these protections on the back half anyway. They have these protections on the back half. But before we get to that, let's just finish this thing. The thing we're talking about, the registration of your property. And this is what I tell attorneys when they think, that we and I just asked them, so most people don't realize that the very first illegal lien that was put on your property was the mortgage lien. Bam! There you go. I'm just going to throw it out there. That's my opinion. And here's why. Okay. So if there were several people on property, all of the owners would have to be present to sign that lien. Those are my two voices on, sometimes there's three. I don't even know where the third one comes from. Everybody had to be present. So the fact that the alleged lender accepted your signature on that shit proves that you owned it already, and I smell stink. Yeah, okay, so the lawsuit that we have in that package is special. It addresses the 42 U.S.C. 1983 stuff and all of that. Tucker's Act addresses all of that. But it also addresses the mortgage fraud. It is the 6 things that are missing. In that lawsuit, you're saying there are 6 things missing out of that the borrower would be repaid. Bam! Remember, top of the show, we talked about who signed while you were sitting at the table. You're the only one. The bank didn't sign it nowhere. Well, excuse me. After you left, they altered it. They did, something, but they didn't sign while you were there. So the question becomes, if your deed was not registered in the office, would they be able to verify that there was a lien against your property? Leave me a comment. I don't think so. I don't know, though, because I'm not that smart. What I do know is that back in the day, before 1932 or 33 or something, when they got, smaller than the britches, back in the day, people kept their deed or in their gun box, in the fire, in the safe, under the mattress with your money outside in a coffee can. It wasn't stored over there in their office where they could put it on the internet through the Registration of Deeds Association, which every state has one. That corporation is connected to the land bank. It's connected to the land bank. I know, Coach, I'm talking silly. I know. Yeah, so go to the YouTube channel and punch in Darren Woods of Shelby County, Tennessee. Darren Woods saved his grandma's house, Shelby County, Tennessee, using a document from the online course, which is from this same package. And Channel 5 got involved. And Channel 5 did a whole thing on the whole stuff. And the situation was, they wasn't worried about Darren's grandma's house. The problem was there was 400 houses sold. When there was a few problems. And I don't know if I remember, 37 of them were delinquent in taxes. The other ones were not. Oh, yeah, but that, that wasn't the stinkiest part. They were pointing fingers because nobody knew where the money was. Okay, but I watched the whole Channel 5 thing because I know Channel 5 don't be playing shady crap on us. So they don't be playing. So Channel 5 reported in, so they did a little thing. Challenged them why they were taking the piece of property. Oh, the guy said, I saw people just up and leaving, whatever. Well, there's one property like $8,000. They sold these people an $8,000 piece of property. It had $2,200 worth tax bill on it. They sold it for $500 to someone overseas through the land bank. Yeah, if I ever have to do a foreclosure, or I'm about to go after the judge again for the divorce case that got dismissed, and we're going to just add the land bank, do a supplemental pleading. That's how we make changes. You can go to the Federal Rules of Procedure and look at the amendment crap, and then scroll down to the bottom of that to find out the requirement for a supplemental pleading. That's how you can do it as many times as you want to, as long as you add a body, add a count, and or both, and they have to be connected to the original reason why you. So we're going to cover that in the workshop that we got coming up. And if the creditors could keep collecting, well, the bankruptcy is pointless. Okay, so how many of you know someone who went through this foreclosure situation and got all the money together to give them more money to stay in your house longer or whatever? And then sometimes they restructure your payments, so you're paying higher than you was paying in the first place, because they're not trying to wipe away what you had. But once they report that you're in default before they get a judgment, they defamed you. Defamation. And I have a lawsuit on the website, professional defamation, foreclosure defamation. Credit. It's $50. It's on the website. Oh, it's a whole different way to jump on these people and have to go through checking down through all of their rigmarole. They're not. Dude, when you go after somebody for professional defamation, you professional like kicking some courts ass, something. When you go after people for professional defamation, there's no hearing or whatever because it's already you got that. So it just goes straight to some. Think about it. That's what we do around here. Figure out ways to get it done. So there are a lot of limits and expectations, and they don't follow any of them because of the situation that they're doing with the courts and all this, repeated filings. Also reduced the limited stay. So you could have a stay, but you kept filing something. They kept filing something, and people kept answering. So when you do that, you're agreeing. State court's going to keep pushing forward. The state court's going to keep pushing forward. And by the time most people realize something's wrong, the deadlines are gone by. Your options are limited. That's why so many people say bankruptcy did not work for them. In my opinion, all it does is drains your bank account even more. That's what it is. It's a continued beat down on your bank account because by the time they get there, make you jump to these hoops and paying for filing and doing all this other stuff, you could have went in and got your lawsuit and been over there filing that stuff in federal court and then using the complete state court docket sheet as your evidence to prove why they're able to violate you. Now what? Okay, why they're able to violate you. That's what we want to talk about. Now what they did. People all the circumstances. No. Everybody's stuff is the same. Why they're able to violate you. Statute and culture non-violent laws. They drag you in the administrative because they're violating your due process all day long. And you know what? We all train to believe we have rights. And we already talked about the only rights you got is the right to shut the hell up. They train us to believe you have rights when they don't get to put their foot on my neck. I just tell them, throw me the cuffs because we ain't trying to have all that drama. Okay, they tell you got the right to, so they're telling you right there, you don't have no right. You got the right to shut the hell up. It's about the lack of accountability. The greedy ass people doing the illegal stuff. That's what failed. Most people don't know what the hell they're supposed to do. How are you going to address this? Well, put a lawsuit together already. If you went through it, I'm going to just assume to jack you around because they're either going to take more money, raise your payments, or they're going to do that until you can't pay and then throw it back in the foreclosure and the attorney's lying to you that you paid. This allows you to sue them for their bankruptcy process. And I still have some more work to do. So if you want to, the workshop is going to be pretty badass. And I'm going to offer a deal for anybody who pays for the workshop. You'll get a special deal on the package. Right now, it is a counterclaim and a claim. I'm not done looking at this. So we may need to make something else for it. So, but by the time the workshop time comes around, we're going to have it all set up. And we're going to help you understand which court has authority, which court don't have authority, why the judge ruling, you're going to be able to jack them up with no matter what and that's how you do this. Pick what they're doing and then you use that against them. Bam. They never told you that what they were doing were crossing the lines and throwing you under the bus. Your lack of knowledge cost people their homes. Well, actually, I don't want to put it that way. Well, it does. They're greed and fraudulent crap, but your lack of knowledge because, you can know this, and even with them having that crap, protect yourself, and that's what we're working on doing right now. So this workshop exists to fix that gap. And the whole thing, how it's structured, I'm going to talk about where the law comes from that they're supposed to be using and why it's a problem. And we're also going to talk about authority of the court, which court has authority for it, and why. And which court is, and why. The why. And then when you get done, you're going to understand why they kept moving in the first place. And you have opportunity to invest in the new document that I put together to address this problem, the bankruptcy court problem for a foreclosure situation. And you're going to get a chance to go after them for their process of that and not all that other stuff that makes everything complicated which starts the arguing. And once the arguing's done, their buddy judge gets to help them. That's pretty much how I see it. I'm pretty, I'm not that smart. Now, they show homeowners lose protection by waiting, and it explains a lot, but people need to start taking action. What we're doing is not theory. This is about homeowners that are experiencing, this is what they're, the real-time feedback is helping us make the program that we got right now. So if you're thinking about filing bankruptcy, this training for you. If you're pissed off and you want to challenge the mortgage payments because you realize right now that money was generated with your own signature, this workshop is for you. Now, y'all know that we don't be playing around here. Fraudulent concealment, and we right in here on fraudulent concealment, tolls or statute of limitations. So that means it don't matter how long ago the bankruptcy court jacked you over. You can come back, and that's what they said. That's their own rules. It is. And I'll tell you right now, you're going to need another plan, because the way things are going right now, I have people that are stopping them from taking their church property and their church building and stuff. They're supposed to be exempt under the tax stuff, but all of that stuff works when the corporate people all agree. If they don't agree for some reason, then none of that stuff's going to work. That's why, and that's why I don't do anything in the LLC or sign none of their stuff, because when you do that, you have to hire one of them to go to court with you to represent your interest. Oh, that's a little shady shit right there. I'm just saying. And most people, when they get to that point, figure that out. And you know what? At the end of the day, what we teach people how to do is add the state, add the judge, add the prosecutor or the attorney to the counterclaim, shove it in their face in their case. And now you just added them to their own case, and there ain't a damn thing they could do about it. Bam! Take that punch in the face. Oh, that's a serious punch, because now they can't litigate the case they're party to. They can't represent themselves. They can't represent other people from the same corporation. Bam! You just shut their case down with a counterclaim. That's how we do it. And then we go to federal court and get the thing filed, and we take the whole docket. They couldn't answer your counterclaim if they could. I mean, they can't. They can't. If they they can't answer to the counterclaim, because we use federal case law and federal acts and everything we file in state court. Bam! So they can't answer that. And then, well, they can't answer anyway when you add them to their own stuff. Bam, bam. And we get a lot of bam, bam going. The real-time feedback has helped us make this simple. Everybody like, I'm looking at there's like 9 documents. Okay, you got one step. The first step is to add those people to the counterclaim as plaintiffs and file the counterclaim in the state case. Bam. That's a wrap. We're done with that. Oh, wait. Get a certified copy of the complete docket sheet to take over the show that is blah, blah, blah. Bam, that's a wrap. Now, all of that mess and having to worry about the judge and the judge going all that, it's all a wrap. The judge can't litigate a case it's a party to. They can't represent them. They can't. And then same day, it's because it's the same document. The only thing you're going to change is the heading on the very top here from federal court to state court. They don't like that. Now, if you want to understand what's really happening before the system decides for you, this training is for you. Can bankruptcy save your home? Bankruptcy can help stall the process. When you say save your home, to me, that means that you're going to make an agreement with them. They're going to let you stay in it. Well, yeah, they'll do that, but now you're going to have to pay more money. So they're going to have to pay more money. The foreclosure still keeps moving after you file the bankruptcy, and you'll understand why at this training. So I'm going to show you guys, I think the wrong thing right there. Can state court touch case. Oh yeah, you see, we put this together, and I still have a little work to do on it. I have to be able to answer my own questions, and a couple that I can't answer. So, but we're not ready, and I think that if people are interested in it, so it's going to be. I'm going to make you guys a deal on the package, and this deal is only going to be like during the stream for the people that show up for the stream. So, but I don't know yet. I got the package put together. I got 2 main documents, but I still have a little research to make sure that we're going a lot. We're running just a little bit behind schedule, but we're here. So you guys give me remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Okay, so all that's right except the court of law part. It should be in the So anybody tonight can get in the next workshop for half price. But so far, if people watching like said work for you, you gotta show you so right what they're doing. We've been trained to think that they're supposed to do something else. We got something new on the table. Yeah, done some research. I'm looking around. I wonder what's the purpose of bankruptcy court? I mean, because people over there, first court. So I started looking that up. Shit. Okay, now we got a workshop now. I have no more questions. Right? I'm not that smart. I don't have a lot now left, but I got a couple. We like to make sure when I put together a document, there ain't no back door or front door or windows. It's just a padded room. Yeah, all right, I'm getting worked up. Yeah, so we put together the first complaints for people who were forced to go to bankruptcy, whether you still have your property or not. Okay, whether you still have your property or not. Whether you paid all that extra money, whatever. If you did, and yeah, I'm trying to keep up because we got some people in the truck that we got to filed a lawsuit against 88 people. We stepped up. We've been stepping up. Yeah, we stepping up. We stepping up with this right here now. Sadly, if you went to bankruptcy court, you should go to watch this. You go to this workshop and see and learn. You're gonna be done with this. Last one. I'll answer your questions until there's no more questions, or they just get crazy. Okay, that's kind of the beauty of the whole situation. And how we got to where we are right now. The real-time feedback has helped us put together the program that we got going on right now, and we about to step over the bankruptcy. Oh, they're gonna be mad. They're going to be mad. No, we did intimate with a young family, and they were protecting their church property too. And that was the project, and I charge more for the his document or whatever. The notice of deficient. It wasn't signed by the judge, and it didn't go to the judge. Said I ain't having nothing to do with that shit. You got to whatever date the attorney threatened you. That's the date the judge threatened his or her ass with. That shit out the window. So the attorney gonna come and tell you, wow. Here's this notice or whatever. He can't fix it. I was getting hot, so I'm getting hungry. So I'm gonna have my dog go over there. She had her peanut butter. My dog's peanut butter junk. She's over there knocked out. Yeah, so you guys need to hit me up if you want to get in this new workshop. Anybody that did the last one, they'll get $25 off too. So we're trying to hook everybody up. Give me a call. 913-24, but not too early in the morning. Now we got Carl. We're gonna help Carl get out of jail. He called me today and we talked a little bit. We'll have to set it up so we'll be live when he calls so he can talk. And he's pretty happy. And the plan, I was so excited because this is the first time I'm really excited. I want to be there and I want other people to see how this works, right? Because a lot of people are forced to do that crap. Stuff they're doing illegal court. All 9 yards. How many people could get out of jail if they them for the plea? But in Carl's case, he already invested in one of our premium packages. So he got the red carpet. He got the man, damn it, he got the red mandate along with criminal stuff, whatever. Yeah, that stuff on the phone. My phone's getting pretty hot. Go outside. Yeah, he's pretty excited. So we're gonna keep you guys posted. I'm posted with that. So he'll be like, what the fourth one? Randall called me and he's still getting his stuff together. But it's time to see you guys tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. On this bankruptcy